Anchor.
Translation.
Okay.
मैं
But it's still a
हिंदी
good
में-
question.
हिंदी में करके बोलता हूँ. मैं इसको हिंदी में पूछता हूँ.
Sorry?
मैं इसको हिंदी में पूछता हूँ.
नहीं, मुझे अंग्रेजी आती है.
मुझे भी हिंदी आती है. ऐसा क्या है? नहीं, मैं. All right, we'll go back to English. What I was saying was, celebrities becoming experts on everything in demand to provide a quick soundbite, quick opinion, especially on our television, perhaps does not lead to as informed debate and as high a level of public discourse as we are accustomed to having, and the credibility of someone who is famous in one respect, in one sphere of action, may not be automatically transferred to another.
I
That's
couldn't
why,
agree
that's
with
why I
you.
said you are two different persons.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. And really, this is something the media needs to answer. They need to answer why is it. But everything is our ability to grasp, our ability to understand, our ability to hear is all being so deeply affected. We want quick fixes for everything. We want everything to be, given to us in one little short sentence. And when the whole worry about getting short sound bites, which might sound very sexy, but are really quite defective because they lose the nuance. They lose the subtlety, they lose the layers. And then you have to, when you're looking for answers, then you have to really look at edits and you have to work very hard to try and find them. It is it's really a rare, courageous actor like Naseeruddin Shah, who says, don't ask me because I do not know. I am an actor and I'm not supposed to automatically have an opinion on what the Polish government is doing. But most of us will pretend that we'll know and we'll find some little thing and we'll give it. So I think that we have to resist and say, we don't know, we're not the experts. Speak to the expert, please. And you have to plead with particularly the television media to say, don't reduce everything to a sound bite. But these are not happening in a vacuum. These are a part of what is happening in our society, where everything is quick, and instant solutions for everything. On a completely separate level, for me as an actor, it kills me when there are all kinds of acting schools that are cropping up that teach you acting in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, you cannot even learn to say hello. And they're cropping all over the place. So it's a malaise of the society. And I don't have an answer for it.
But may I add to this here is that because Sudeep?
Ishan wants to ask a question. Mike, please. Ishan is Ompuri's son.
Shabana Khala, you just said that your first love was theatre.
I said film.
Film, sorry. So most actors who come from theatre would say film. So I'm very glad you said that. But I would want to know why.
Why I said that film is my film is my first love?
Yes.
Yeah. No, but because that's darling, because I come from cinema. My basic grounding, like I told you, is from cinema. It's not from theatre. So theatre is something additional that I do. But I'm glad you liked the answer. Thank you.
Shabana ji, I have to ask here, is that you have interacted or had the closest possible relationships with two of the best shires, your father and your husband.
And father-in-law, Janisar.
And father-in-law. So,
Let me ask you a question. Let me just preempt you. One of the questions that I'm constantly asked is that, your father was a poet, your father-in-law was a poet, your husband is a poet. Do you write poetry? So I say, no, I provide the inspiration. Isn't that a better thing to do? There's a poet sitting right here.
I had slightly different. One was, why have you not written, or have you felt the? I think you've written. You do write sometimes, but are you planning to write in the near future? And you have such a vast, body of experience to fall back upon.
Yes, I have been asked a lot by lots of people, and I think, yes, it is something that I must do, not necessarily because I have something very important to say, but my life has gone through so many turns and twists, and there are so many interesting episodes that have taken place that have shaped me, that it would be wonderful to share it with people.
Yes,
I'm
you
just
must.
waiting for the time to...
And we look forward to that,
Yeah.
and we'll be the first ones to download from Kindle.
Sudeep.
Acha, dusra, as Sudeep is thinking about the question, you can answer this when we end the session. I will not ask you whose shairi you like the most. I'm sure you like all three of them. But जाने से पहले आप कुछ ना कुछ उनका सुना के जाएंगे.
जी, मैं सुनाऊंगी. Let's hear what Sudeep has to say.
I'm biased, as you know. I mean, I've been a big teacher of your father's poetry, and he's been kind enough to write, and through you. So I have no desire to even contend that. So I think it's best that you read something. We can carry this dialogue afterwards. But yeah,
You know, unfortunately, I'm not carrying my father's book. I mean, I was asked to do something else. So I'm not carrying anything. And to say it in Urdu to this audience wouldn't make sense. I would really need to read a translation. So it's difficult for me to remember an entire poem in Urdu. But there's a very simple share, a little thing before I say this. I carry on the work that my father started in a tiny village in Mijwa, in Azamgarh, UP, where he was born, and where after having a paralytic stroke, he decided to not give up in despair, but dedicated himself to the village and to the empowerment of the rural girl child. And today, Mijwa is really a model village. You know, we have 3 schools, an inter-college, a computer center, maternity center. We have chikankari, embroidery that Manish Malhotra and people from France are taking. So it's really a tiny village that is doing very well. Now, but in this process, as he was working towards social change, there were many, many obstacles that came in his way. And so I asked him a question, the answer to which has really become my mantra. And I said, Abba, don't you get frustrated when change doesn't happen at the pace that you want it to? And he said, when you are working for change, you should build into that expectation the possibility that that change might not occur within your lifetime. But you must have the conviction that if you carry on working sincerely and with dedication, then that change will occur, even if it does so after you're gone. And so there's no room for frustration.
Excellent. Excellent.
And so in continuation with that, there's just a little share that I would like to recite, which is, प्यार का जश्न नई तरह मनाना होगा, प्यार का जश्न नई तरह मनाना होगा, गम किसी दिल में सही, गम को मिटाना होगा.
Wow.
Thank you.
Apart from the lot of work that Shabana ji is doing at her village, I know of a lovely park in Mumbai, which they have developed. If any of you ever come to Mumbai, do visit that Cafe Azmi Park. आप उसमें आधे घंटे बैठेंगे तो 2-4 शेर व शायरी पंक्तियां करके निकलेंगे. It's such a beautiful place. That is her one of the many contributions that she has done in her career. Professor Mohanty, I was told, wanted to ask one question.
There's some hands there as well.
Yeah. Film is a form of narrative. Literature is also a form of narrative. Now, this it occurred to me like when we talked about investing more in script writing. Why is it that literary texts are not being made into films? Where is the problem? Why are not good literary texts?
I'm very
being
sorry to tell you, but we don't have very many educated people. No, but a lot of Tagore, for instance, is done. I mean, Ritu Parno Ghosh very recently made Nauka Dubi, and they do that a lot in Bengal. But there's so much in Hindi literature, really, that should be used. It's so beautiful.
We've somehow got this perverted formula embedded in our industry. The crazier the movie, the more popular it would be. ऐसा कुछ हो गया लगता है.
No, it's an attempt to reach out to the lowest common denominator, really.
I mean, common denominator were there 30, 40 years back as well. But we never saw such crass films.
No, but there's also very healthy independent cinema. If you look at a certain section of the independent film, whether you look at Dibakar or Dibakar Banerjee, or you look at Anurag Kashyap, or you look at Zoya Akhtar, Farhan Akhtar,
Yeah.
they are doing,
A few, yes.
yeah, they are doing
A few of them,
interesting
yes.
work. Yeah.
I wanted to ask a question. Like, there is a lot of detailed depiction of communal riots and communal violence in films. Well, I think that itself fans a lot of communalism instead of abating
You know,
that.
that's a very dangerous form of argument, because behind that argument can hide people who want to silence it. And so we should be very, very careful. You know, it is in the portrayal, and that is the important thing, that if in the portrayal, if it is handled with sensitivity, for instance, Nandita Das was here earlier, and look at her film Firak, you cannot accuse that film of fanning more communal hatred. So it is really the intention of the filmmaker. But this culture of silence that we want to put on all things that are uncomfortable, I think that's a very dangerous thing. We shouldn't encourage that. We have to have the courage and the guts to say, yes, this exists, and yes, there is a wound. And the fact is, look at the history of communal riots in India. The guilty have got away scot-free. Now, unless justice is done, or justice is perceived to be done, you will end up ghettoizing, marginalizing, and have very, very deep fear. And the signal that goes out in society is that there are two kinds of laws in this country. If you kill one person, you're likely to get punished. But if you indulge in mass murder, an amnesty of sorts will be granted to you. So what we have to, there's no point in putting commissions of inquiry. We must not let a communal riot occur. It doesn't occur automatically. It is created by vested interest. It is created to get political mileage out of it. And the guilty must be punished. That is the one message that should go out from us.
Question.
There's a question there. We'll take yours. Yes, please. I can't hear you.
Hello, ma'am. I am Akhilesh. Why do you think originality in the Bollywood films is missing nowadays? Has technology overtaken the originality in Bollywood films?
You know, this question of what exactly is original is something that I have not formulated. Ultimately, when you speak to writers, they say there are all of 9 stories in the world. Actually, there are only 9 basic stories, and then everything is a permutation combination of that. So what we credit as originality is in itself something that we need to talk about. But you keep saying that is originality becoming the handmaiden of technology? That's not true. In fact, if anything, technology should only be able to open up that space and allow for more originality. Yes, there was somebody here who wanted a question.
Anybody else?
You just said that there are no educated people in films. That's
No,
why
I didn't mean that seriously. Please don't take it seriously. It is a joke.
She meant there are a lot of Punjabis there, like me.
No. Now tomorrow the headlines will be Shabana Azmi says there are no educated people in the film industry. That will be my death. It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. Ha. Yes.
You also met Swami. So
I can't hear you. You know, I can't hear you and I can't see you.
you also met Swami. It's a great.
Wonderful, yes.
She got an award for that.
Yeah. And why we would like to extend this debate and say why you could not sustain that kind of work instead of the kind of.
Because I don't hold that job. I mean, it's really the job of the writers and the job of the producers, really, to put their money into subjects that they can take. But you know, it's also a responsibility of the audience. We can't put all the blame only on the filmmakers. The very people who come to us and say, it's terrible, Hindi cinema is becoming from bad to worse, are the people who will rush first day, first show to watch a Dabang. So, and will not go and watch a Nauka Doobie. So what do you do to that? You know, when you ask the film industry to be responsible, and of course they ought to be responsible, we have to understand that the filmmaker is in the business of making. Because you see, I mean, I'd be open to doing a telefilm, for instance. I've done a telefilm for Aparna Sen called Picnic, not a TV serial.
Anupama, what was Anupama?
Anupama, you see, we started Anupama in the hope that because she was a... How do you change the image of women in our society? We always say the media is a very important medium to do that. So, you know, you can't say ban this, ban that, wo mat karo, ye mat karo. But what you can do is create positive role models. And one way of doing it was through a serial. So I was hoping that that's what we'd be able to do, but somehow it didn't work. There are two, yes, at the back, yes. There are young people there at the back. Can you please put a mic, give a mic?
Hello, Namaskar, Shabana ji. Just had a question regarding what you said that literature needs to get money. Script writers needs to be paid. The very basic thing that happens in Indian cinema nowadays that good literature isn't getting converted into good cinema. And the reason being multiple, various reasons for that. Definitely, as you said, the audience, we are definitely responsible. Because not many of us go to watch a Rituparna Ghosh movie or an Aparna Sen movie as compared to the others. But don't you think that the celebrities, the people that the common man would look up to, don't they have a responsibility? Like celebrity X, Y, Z. If they say,
let me interrupt you. I got your question, but look at what is happening. There are many mainstream film stars today that are going out of their way to make films which maybe might not be commercially successful. And that is the contribution that they're making. So from their point of view, they can't start going and making a film, but they can act in films that are trying to do different things. So you get a Priyanka Chopra and you get a Rani Mukherjee and you get many of such actors, Vidya Balan, all of them agreeing to do films at half their prices that might not necessarily be commercially successful, but have a story to tell. So we have to grant this to the film stars, that this is what they're doing. Now you look at somebody like John Abraham, who is as mainstream as you can, and yet when he chooses to produce a film, he makes Vicky Donor. So there is a change that is happening. Amir Khan is a case in point as well, you know. So there is a change that is happening, certainly. No, I want to listen to his question. But just translate his question for me. What are you saying? No, but let's try and listen. Sir, can you please repeat your question slowly?
Though 70% of the people in India live in rural areas, there is a rampant exploitation, poverty, utter poverty, agony and disappointment. Why it is not reflected in Hindi films or regional language films? Though in a song scenario, 5 times of dresses changes, 5 times of place changes, all this technological vulgarity is rampant also. How to bring
I've never heard of technological vulgarity before. This is a strange term. Technological vulgarity, but what was the question? Sorry.
Is there so much of poverty?
Why the rural scenario is not reflected, like in Ankur, Nishant films, what is there, why it is not reflected in Hindi or regional films? Though still, in society, there is rampant poverty, exploitation, it is not coming out in other films, in film scene. Cannot follow.
You think there's so much poverty, why the films are not shown?
Yeah. No, that is absolutely true. It's also because the filmmakers, the younger filmmakers today are more urban, English-speaking, city-based people who are making films about the reality that they understand. And that is also a reality which is India's reality, because India is a country that lives in several centuries simultaneously. We have people living back to back in the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th and 21st century. And India's people encapsulate all the contradictions that come from being this strange mixture. So we cannot say that only this should be made, that should be made. It is a matter of concern, certainly, that the village is disappearing from Hindi cinema. And look at even the films of B.R. Chopra and Shantaram and so many others who were making films about the village. The village seems to have disappeared and now is going into regional cinema only, which is because I think that the filmmakers are more urban people, the younger filmmakers.
Savana ji, you talked about the importance of training in acting, in cinema. I'm just asking this question out of curiosity. It's a kind of academic curiosity. By training, do you mean knowledge of dramaturgy, knowledge of histrionics, techniques, or does training also include a component of cultural literacy? In other words, what I'm trying to ask is, before acting in an women-oriented movie, do you read feminist literature? This is the question.
It's a very good question. And see, it is very important for an artist, I'm giving a slightly long-winded answer, to have life as her resource base. Because, you know, acting is a two-way process. I give to the character and the character gives to me. So when I play Sushila and inhabit her work, Shabana Azmi gets enriched by Sushila. Sushila will get as enriched as Shabana Azmi commits herself to finding out whether she finds out about literature, whether she finds out about arts, whether she finds out about theatre, because that is her resource. An actor is her own instrument. If you play the sitar, then how well you play the sitar will depend on the dexterity of your fingers as well as how finely tuned your instrument is. But the actor has only her body and her mind and her soul to give to the part. So the more you enrich yourself, the more you will be able to give any part. And I'm not sure that I can answer that when I was playing a particular character, I started reading feminist literature. I read feminist literature because it was something that interested me. And obviously that formed a worldview which informs the characters that I play. So even if it is the character is not overtly feminist, there is a female gaze that I think gets attributed to the fact that that's what I bring on the table. Thank you.
Shivani,
But you know, technique, I am, sorry for interrupting. I do want to take this question because I think technique is undervalued. And people say, "Arey, ye to bahut technical actor hai." What do you mean by technical actor? The fact is that a lot of people who get a lot of attention because they say, "Bahut spontaneous actor hai," that's a God-given spontaneity. But actually in cinema, it has to be a simulated spontaneity. It can't rest at only the ability to be spontaneous. And the fact is what technique is supposed to do is to be able to facilitate the flow of emotions when there is no inspiration coming your way. If it shows up, it's bad technique. But technique is the facilitator, and we cannot undervalue it because it helps you peg your performances higher and helps you take risks. So I'm a great believer in technique. And if it shows up, then it's bad technique.
Shivani ji, your most favorite movie apart from your own?
Madam, one question.
Garm Hava.
Garm.
MS Satyu's Garm
I believe it has been just restored.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful.
We will get a chance to see it. I've seen it long time back. It's a lovely movie. What kind of music you like?
I like Begum Akhtar. I like Kishori Amunkar. I like Bhimsen Joshi. I like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. I like Mehdi Hassan. And I like the Beatles. And I like Joan Baez. And I like Neil Diamond. And I like Hindi film songs.
Wonderful. But in the Pakistani thing, you named only Nusrat, right? Nusrat Fateh Ali?
Nusrat, Mehdi.
Mehdi.
Mehdi Hassan.
Gulab.
Ida Khanam, how can I forget?
And what about
love
Malika Pukhraj?
Malika Pukhraj,
Right.
wonderful.
Abhi to
wonderful.
main jawan hoon. Wonderful.
But Farida Khanam is something
Farida
else.
Khan.
She's wonderful.
जाने की जिद ना करो.
Wonderful, wonderful.
बहुत बड़े. I believe you had a very, I don't know, it's not a secret, but you had a sumptuous lunch recently at Hyderabad. उसका menu थोड़ा बताएं.
I had nihari, I had chicken, I had biryani, I had shikampur, I had fish, I had bagari bangan.
Oh.
I'm a big foodie.
Miss
And
all Hyderabad.
I had very nice Odia food today. I had dal, what is it called? Dal.
I have no idea.
What? Wonderful, it was lovely. It was very nice and there was a chicken. Both was very delicious. You know, I was going in for a sandwich because I didn't want to eat anything heavy, and then I just got a SMS from Nandita who was on her way out, Nandita Das, and she said, "Hope you eat some good Odia food." And I said, how stupid would it be to be in Bhubaneswar and not have Odia food? And I had it and I loved it.
Are you a foodie or are you also fond of cooking?
You know, I have a very great talent for cooking.
Yeah.
I have this talent that if you're making the best in the world, and you've got the ingredients right, everything is perfect, and you just say, Shabana, just stir the pot for 2 seconds, we are just going out and coming back, I will have burnt it to cinders. But this is one ambition of mine, kabhi na kabhi to main khana paka paungi.
Because nowadays the best shows on television are the cookery shows. And I know a lot of people, including myself, who got inspired and started cooking. They are really wonderful. And by the way, the interview is not about me, but cooking is very easy. Don't get fooled by your wives and sisters. You can do it yourself. It's quite easy. Best co-actor or most favorite co-actor?
Nasiruddin Shah and Om Puri. Not because Om's son is here.
No, he's wonderful. He's wonderful. He's wonderful. Anybody from outside India? You would...
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. Somebody was raising his hand there. His question was still incomplete. Do we have time to take that final question?
Yes,
Kailash ji,
there's a
do we have
lady
time?
over there. We've got two final questions, that's it. Yeah, please, yes, there's a lady there. I don't know what they're doing with the mic, really.
Madam, as an actress, you are quite successful in silver screen. But what is your significant contribution as a Rajya Sabha member for women and children?
Huh? What have I done as a Rajya Sabha member? You know, I take great pride in the fact that I was extremely, I attended my Rajya Sabha so seriously that my colleagues used to say, you know, this isn't school, you don't have to come here every single day. But I took it very seriously. I participated in a lot of debates, and the two things that we were actually able to do was the Act on Domestic Violence, in which we participated a lot of women's movements, and I took their voice forward, and the National Slum Policy, both of which are aspects in which I work, and also push the agenda on health, on access to public health. That's something that is very dear to my heart.
आदाब, शबाना जी।
आदाब।
जब हम मिलते हैं हिंदू और मुसलमान बड़े ही खुलूस से और मोहब्बत से मिलते हैं। क्या आपको नहीं लगता कि हिंदी फिल्म जो है वो कम्युनलिज्म को कहीं ना कहीं बढ़ावा देती है?
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं।
मसलन कई फिल्मों
बिल्कुल भी नहीं।
ठीक है।
I absolutely refuse to take it. It's the only place in India where the film industry has not one communal bone.
Absolutely.
ठीक है, मुझे मंजूर है।
I mean, आप ये देखिए कि at a time when everything was supposedly wrong with Muslims and Muslims were the bête noire of this society because of a particular communal streak that was operating, Salman Khan and Shah Rukh Khan and Amir Khan were still the biggest superstars. There was absolutely nothing there.
नहीं नहीं, बिल्कुल आपकी बात सही है, लेकिन जो लफ्ज काफिर दफन हो रहा है, लेकिन हिंदी फिल्मों में बार बार उसको उभारा जाता है। कई फिल्मों में ऐसा दिखाया गया है, मसलन हिंदुस्तानी उस फिल्म में।
नहीं, I don't agree with you. More of the same thing. अभी मंजिलें और भी हैं, नहीं है? यही मंजिल तक पहुंचने में बहुत लंबा रास्ता है, बहुत लंबा सफर है।
And as she said, many things you can't finish in one lifetime. जिस तरह से क्वेश्चन चल रहा है, मुझे लगता नहीं कोई लास्ट होने वाला है। उनकी फ्लाइट भी है, तो we'll take just one or two questions. Can we? Just two questions. Final.
I would like to congratulate Madam for the wonderful interaction. One personal question, a private question to Mrs. Azmi. What is the quintessence of Shabana Azmi as a woman? Thank you, ma'am. What is the quintessence of Shabana Azmi as a woman? Thank you, ma'am.
What is the quintessence?
What is the quintessence of Shabana Azmi as a woman? Because you have become a role model as a social activist, and also you have played several parts in your life.
I'm quintessentially very sweet.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, gentlemen, so that's it. We could have gone on and on, but she has a flight to catch, and I must thank Shabana ji once again for her very elegant and very, very gracious presence. आप कुछ कह रहे हैं?
No, he doesn't even want me to say thank you. He wants me to give the mic away. I won't give the mic. मैं पहले thank करूँगी अपनी audience को.
Oh, he wants to change the battery. As I was saying, we thank her greatly for her absolutely most elegant and gracious presence. And gentlemen, there's one takeaway from this interview that you heard it first here, that she's very soon going to publish. And we are all going to support and buy them.
Thank you, Dilip. Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Kindly be on stage, ma'am. I would like to invite... Ladies and gentlemen, let us hear a general round of applause, please, for the people on the panel, especially Shabana ji, Dilip Saab, everybody, Professor Manoj Das, Mr. Kailash Singh. And from Kailash ji to Dilip Saab, thank you very much. Special memento to you. Don't go anywhere. We have a theatre session now, so kindly remain seated. Thank you very much.
नमस्कार एते लोक अपेक्षा करचंती देखिकरी जेतिकी खुशी लागुची सेतिकी आपनक पई सांत्वना भी दउची I also thank you for waiting for us and also to have gone through this long whole day process. But I hope you had a good lunch and you have enjoyed the session. And the youngest of us all, Dr. Saeed Alam, who has 25 plays in his repertory, in his both pockets. All right, I will start by telling you a story, but don't think it's a joke. Somebody wanted to learn archery, bow and arrow. So he went to a teacher, and the teacher said, go into the jungle, take an arrow, take a bow, and then shoot at a tree. And that's how you practice, day in and day out. So this gentleman went and tried it, but he couldn't hit one tree even. Then he was coming back dejected, disappointed, thoroughly exhausted, like most of you. Then he found in about innumerable trees, there were bullseye. So he asked, how the hell this can happen? So he found a gentleman sitting under a tree, smoking, like our friend Dilip Kumar. And then he said, sir, have you done this? He said, yes, of course. He said, how did you do it? He said, I took the arrow, took the bow, and he hit to the tree. Then I took a piece of chalk and put a circle around it. And that's how I hit the bull's eye. So I'm taking the circle, the chalk, and putting a circle around these four people who are going to now continue with what I may not be able to do. That is the three questions: politics, practice, pleasure. 3 P's. And we have 3 R's: Rudra, Rajit, Ram Gopal. We have got 3 A's: Alap, Ananta, audience. Now, practice. What do you mean by practice? Like a practice of a doctor? Practice of a lawyer? Practice of that of an engineer? Or is it the politics that is enacted on the streets? Or is it the politics within the theatre? Or is it pleasure? Pleasure to have played the role? Or pleasure to have seen a play? Or is it a pleasure when you go back home and forget everything else? So these illustrious people of the theatre, Rudra has been synonym with the theatre of Calcutta for many, many decades. Ram Gopal Bajaj, of course, while they are speaking about these three P's, they shall also talk about their own personal O's. Ram Gopal has been the director of National School of Drama. And as I said, Rajit Kapoor, everybody knows him for all those wonderful Sam Benegal films, including Making of Mahatma. And Shahid Alam, with his whole experience, starting as an actor, now a director, a producer, who does plays in Urdu, English, Hindi, and does performance in Lal Killa, does performance Nehru Center in London, and he is practically doing plays every alternate day in Delhi. So do we start with senior most? No. Okay, I knew that answer because he's still 1 year younger to me. The junior most, he'll be Said.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a privilege and a rare privilege to be an audience and as well as a panelist among so many seniors. 78-year young Rudra Sahab, 79-year young Anand Sahab, and I happen to be a 44-year-old theatre practitioner. Well, as regards the three P's, practice. Yes, theatre is something to be practiced, to be rehearsed, which is why I am quite uncomfortable here. It should be rehearsed, it should be practiced. It is very difficult to talk about it spontaneously. Politics, I will not be able to speak about, despite being a PhD in political science. Pleasure, before this seminar, I used to associate this word with many other things except theatre. Anyhow, it's full of pleasure and full of pains as well. Over to Mahapatra Sahab.
Rajit. Good evening, everyone. I'm honored and delighted to be here. My respected panelists. I'm not really sure whether I'm, in a sense, qualified to speak, and I was racking.
To me, unpad jaise main hoon, I mean, it's very difficult to decipher what are the connects, and there are so many connects that it almost seems to be connectionless. Regarding practice, it is very difficult for a person who has practiced theatre, tried to practice theatre for more than 50 years, 52 years in fact. It's very difficult for me to talk about practice in theatre, practice for theatre, because theatre is not practice of enacting. Theatre is not practice of stagecraft. Theatre is not understanding the architecture of theatre, well, in the open air or in the theatre in the round or whatever. Theatre is a combined cultural action. A poem is born out of a private sensibility, individual sensibility. A novel comes out of an individual mind. A painter, it's that person who paints. A singer, of course, with a lot of drums and all that. But basically a singer is an individual. A cinema too. There have been scenes when the people who fight on the screen, as we see, have never met. They have shot differently. It's not a collective actually, it's the mind of the director or the producer maybe. But theater is a combination of human actions. Actions of mechanical nature, technological nature. A practice of theater needs to know from chemistry to community, everything included. And theater is an epitome of the art of living. All the components that a human being needs to think about and practice for being a human being: intuition, instinct, emotion, imagination, body, mind. As Aristotle said, that even an actor has to be an athlete philosopher. So, practice of theater is a collective process, and most important part in that collective is spectators, audience. Because they silently actually create. For example, when I am on stage, if in a critical moment, when out of 1,000 people, one person loudly yawns, something goes dead here, and that death is communicated to you, a writer does not have to face that situation. He can stop writing, make himself once more comfortable and steady, and then write. But on stage, all the persons who work together, they are condemned or salvaged in that moment. When somebody in a critical situation out of that corner says, "Bah, bah," it creates an energy of 10,000 volts in the performers and all the people backstage. It's a collective. For example, I'll be mean, a little dirty-minded. Somebody in the audience here this evening was continuously picking his nose, continuously, and trying to find something from inside. Continuously. I couldn't say, "Stop it, my dear." Continuously he was doing that, oblivious of the world, and he was destroying my peace of mind. But that lady, she's smiling in silence. That gives me a sort of encouragement. Yes, you can go on. You are not a dud. It's a direct give and take. So the awareness about this, the whole society in micro, in its multiple facets and layers, that involves theater making, and therefore practice of theater is a very arduous task. I don't undermine. Speaking like Professor Manoj Das needs a lot of hard work, no less than any of us. But at the same time, it's a collective hard work, a journey. And here again, that should be remembered by all the people who practice and who participate indirectly in the practice, and give theater its due, that it's not just, I can start writing and can stop writing. But once I'm here, once I start, I cannot stop. I am compelled to complete the journey. This is being live is a very important factor in theater making. Now that's all about practice of theater. I wonder if I made any sense. And the second part of the caption was politics. This, even now I don't understand. what the caption maker had meant actually. And Ananta should have explained that at least the way he understood it, or he misunderstood it. But he didn't help his panelist. He's a tricky old guy. So this politics, in my own way, I'm relating these two. Are we to talk about whether theatre needs to be political or theatre per se is politics? That can be one way of seeing theatre. It's connect with politics. Or are we to relate with the people who do politics or who claim to do politics, who demean politics, with the political society? Assuming that this politics part gives me a license to talk about relation of theatre with the political society, assuming that, I'm not sure, that brings me to another part of this dialogue. That a political society is totally unaware about importance of theatre. They don't give a damn, although they have instituted awards, some doles, pittances in the form of grants. My salary according to Government of India is 6,000 rupees. 6,000 rupees. I have been earning my bread as a teacher of English literature. If I take tuitions every day, I can earn 10 or 15 times more than that. But my only sin has been to be devoted to theatre, so I am given with impunity 6,000 rupees a month. The society does not understand the economics of theatre. Political society does not understand how theatre can work. They only, it's called, when there is a movement for literacy, when literacy campaign, the first thing that I want to ask, why there is a need of literacy campaign after so many years of independence? How have you failed to do that? You create a problem and then you try to solve it and you want votes because of that. I mean, it's direct, it's alive. And perhaps the people, the powers that be, they don't want theatre to flourish, prosper, practice to the full of its potency and ability. This is a wild surmise, but sometimes I wonder why. Theatre is one art form. For example, Tagore wrote a corpus of literature out of which Vishwabharati survived itself. From royalties and all that, Vishwabharati kept on doing, and also support from Jawaharlal Nehru and Mahatma Gandhi. And so, you write a book, your children can earn from that. You sing, because it's replicable. Literature is replicable. It's one-time exercise for one individual, then only it gets printed and reprinted ad infinitum. A song by someone called Joan Baez can be circulated all over the world, as Shabana was talking about, Joan Baez being her favorite. Music, painting, even so, technology can really create better original in its reprints. So everything is replicable, whereas theatre, every night it is born and every night it dies.